Let's talk about Ethereum versus Solana. I'm getting a few comments of a little bit of hate, basically saying I'm not really showing enough care or respect or covering Ethereum enough. Now, this channel is primarily Solana based. I will be creating with a friend or a couple of friends a new channel in the very near future, and we'll cover all blockchains wherever there's yield to be made, wherever there's opportunity, wherever there's a cool DApp, we'll go and cover that. But when it comes to Ethereum, it's very important that I give people a little bit of history. Hopefully the majority of people that are actually watching this channel are brand new people to crypto, so it'll give you a little bit of context on why Solana is so good in my opinion. So let's dive in. Now, the daily active addresses on Solana is very high at over 2.4 million. I'll be honest, I have a lot more Solana addresses than I do on, say, an EVM. It's far easier to have 5 or 10 addresses over on Solana as compared to having them on other EVMs. An EVM is an Ethereum virtual machine, and we'll cover more about that in a second. You can actually create as many Ethereum addresses as you like. That's completely fine. On Solana, it's easy to spread your crypto into different accounts. You'll have maybe a general use, a DeFi, a degen, a meme coin, staking, NFTs, and they may just be your hot wallets. Then you also have ledgers. Whereas with Ethereum, I've only got a couple of addresses, and that's more common. The reason I bring this up is because 2.4 million addresses on Solana is not actually 2.4 million users. It would be less than this. You can see Tron here has an insane number of people. I don't really know why there are so many users on Tron. I think a lot of them are just bots. And it seems the greatest use of Tron is actually to move USDT around in countries like Nigeria and places like Turkey. Then you have BNB Chain. BNB Chain does a lot of volume. It's far more like an affordable Ethereum. And then you have Polygon. This is its own blockchain. Some people call it a layer 2, but effectively it's its own blockchain. Then there's Bitcoin, Ethereum, the big OG chain, and Arbitrum, which is essentially a layer 2 solution to Ethereum. So what do I mean by a layer 2 solution? So in the background here, we just have some Ethereum gas fees. That way you know how expensive it is to do transfers and how many pending transactions there are. So let's say Ethereum's the base chain, because it is. So this is ETH. Over here, it can cost $10 to transact. If it's really congested, because it can't do many transactions per second, it sits around 15 to 18 as kind of the max amount. If it's really congested, you're looking at around $100 or more, and it has been higher than $1,000 before. $1,000 for one transaction. So what's supposed to happen is you're supposed to get all these beautiful transactions that are going through, and we can see this exactly right here. These are transactions going into each block. A block is represented as a bus, and it goes and it joins the actual blockchain. So let's say we have all these. Now, the actual way that Ethereum is supposed to scale is via something called sharding, where basically you can do all these transactions in kind of like different sections of Ethereum, but this has not been implemented. The goal with sharding was initially 10,000 transactions per second, moving up to 100,000. Now, Ethereum sharding hasn't happened. And how long until it happens? I don't know. Potentially 5 years, maybe more, maybe less. It literally is a massive task. It's difficult. No one's done it really well, and it may never actually happen. So let's expand on what we have as a solution then. What people have basically said is let's have a layer 2. So this is the main blockchain. This is like the main highway. It's a slow road. It's basically one lane. So instead, we offshoot to this layer 2 solution. And maybe this layer 2 solution can have 5 lanes. So potentially it can do 40 transactions per second. 40 transactions per second is still not enough. So then we're going to have, this is the equivalent of an Autobahn. This is another blockchain, and maybe this is 100 transactions per second. This is 40, this is 100. Then we have another one over here, and maybe it's only 20, but still, it's something. And then we've got one over here. This could be 50, and this could specialize in DeFi. So this could be DeFi, this could be gaming, this could be NFTs, this could be DeFi NFTs as well. And these are all random different blockchains. The only reason why they're called a layer 2 is they're kind of built on top of Ethereum. They use Ethereum's open source code, and in some ways, they use some security of the actual Ethereum blockchain by having the data actually on this blockchain confirm with data on Ethereum. I'm just keeping things simple. If you want to get confused, or if you really have the mental capacity to absorb all this, then go and check out Bankless. Most likely you'll be confused in 2 minutes, because I'm using a different approach. I'm trying to keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid, the KISS method, and I'm trying to explain like you're 5 years old. So we have all these wonderful blockchains. So let's take a look at Polygon. Now this is not the actual blockchain, all this is the Explorer. You can see the current cost of transactions is fairly high, nothing crazy. It's not giving us an actual amount, but we can work out the amount of a transaction. Sometimes this amount in Gwei can become thousands of Gwei. And when I first started using this blockchain, it was right when it was brand new. There was very little over here. There was a game that had just come across, and there was a DEX, Quick Swap DEX, and that was basically about everything. Back then, the cost was 1 Gwei. That's it. Now I'm not perfectly sure because I haven't been keeping myself fully up to date here, but I'm pretty sure the block time on this chain is maybe 3 seconds, around that. And you can see they can fit in a decent number of transactions, over 300. And if we have a look at these transactions, you can see they're about 2 to 3 seconds. If we jump into a block, we can have a look at the transactions, and we can just go and find a random transaction such as this one. And we can see the actual transaction fee is quite low at about 2 cents. So this blockchain is performing quite well. Then we have another blockchain. This is Base. We won't go into the Explorer. It's going to take too much time. But Base is from Coinbase, and some people may call it a layer 2 solution, but essentially it's its own blockchain, but it's an Ethereum virtual machine. Then we have Eigen Layer. You can't really do anything over here as far as I'm aware, other than move your funds into this particular blockchain, and then the blockchain captures the yield by staking those assets on Ethereum mainnet and probably other blockchains. Then you've got Blast. This is from the team that bought you Blur. And once again, this is the exact same thing. You move your assets onto this blockchain, it costs you probably over $100 in gas fees, and they take all of the assets and they earn a yield. Now, of course, they can build dApps in the future, but as far as I'm aware, there's nothing actually over here other than the fact that you can bridge and then earn. You bridge across your Ethereum or some USDC, staked ETH, Tether, DAI, and you can withdraw. And that's the extent of this blockchain. Then you have Starknet. There's definitely some things happening over here. And you can go to CoinGecko and you can have a look at all the top layer 2s. You'll find plenty more here. Normally the wallet you would use would be Metamask, but you can use other blockchain wallets as well. And you normally have to go to Chainlist in order to add all the individual settings to each blockchain, unless it's very, very popular, in which case Metamask will have it. A mutable chain is supposed to be setting up themselves as a gaming blockchain. BNB is definitely not a layer 2, but as I mentioned, it is an Ethereum virtual machine, basically uses pretty much the same code as Ethereum. They've just made it less decentralized, cheaper, and faster. And if you want to see all the different dApps out there, you can go to a platform such as DappRadar, go and explore dApps, go to chains, have a look at layer 2, and you can see all these different chains here. Go click on something like Polygon. Scrolling on down, you can see top dApps here, top tokens, and you can also just go to all rankings and see different dApps on different chains right here. Please be aware that DappRadar is really only a recommendation on where to find actual dApps on the chain. It's not very accurate. So as an example, Jupiter Exchange, I think for some reason this is completely off. It says the balance in the smart contracts is 57 cents, and it says the volume via Jupiter is 90 million, when more likely it's probably about 1.1 billion in the last 24 hours. If you want to see other dApps, you can go to DeFi Llama and you can see all these different blockchains here. Or if you like, go and have a look at some really popular dApps such as Aave. You can see it's on 12 different blockchains, and if we hover over it, Ethereum, Arbitrum, Polygon, Avalanche, Optimism, Gnosis, Metis, Base, Binance Smart Chain, Scroll, Phantom, Harmony. These are all EVMs. So let's actually go and have a look at Aave. Over 10 billion in actual TVL, locked crypto. And let's check out the website. We'll go and launch a dApp and we'll have a look at the markets. So this is where all of a sudden people think of this as being a feature, and it's not really a feature. Every time you go from one blockchain to another, there's a major friction point. It's enough of a friction point that I personally make sure I double check everything, because the number of hacks and exploits that happen between different blockchains by going via a bridge are absolutely insane. Quite often in a bull market, over $1 billion worth of exploits in a single year. So let's have a look. We can see the total market size on Optimism is 241 million. Ethereum, most of the liquidity is here, but it just sits here because this chain is really only good for whales to transact, or anyone that's happy to spend $200 on a complex transaction. Base, tiny amount of liquidity. Arbitrum, a decent amount. By the way, typically when there's a decent amount of liquidity moving to an ecosystem, that ecosystem will do well. That's what happened in the previous cycle. We basically saw a lot of money go to Polygon and then Polygon to Avalanche, and at the same time, and not related to actually Aave, but a lot of liquidity went to BNB chain, and then Harmony and a few others got a decent amount as well. If we have a look at Harmony, we can see, well, we can see nothing, but this is a good example. Due to the Horizon Bridge exploit, certain assets on the Harmony network are not at parity with Ethereum, which affects the Aave v3 Harmony market. So I had funds over on this blockchain, a decent amount, maybe $10,000 or more. There was an exploit in the bridge, and all of a sudden, those assets were worth less than $1,000. And this is one of the biggest pain points between going from EVM to EVM. The other thing is quite often you can't just play on one blockchain. As an example, if you want to get into NFTs, most of the time you're going to have to go to Ethereum. This is OpenSea and this is a massive DApp. Right now we can go and click on something, MB, Play Ember. I have no idea what this collection is. Buy now, we connect our wallet. I don't even know what blockchain this is on. I can see it up here though, chain Ethereum. And then I can see that this one is on the Polygon chain. Sometimes you can buy these in the Matic token. Other times you can buy them in Ethereum. If you go to Magic Eden, it does make it a little bit more simple because you can see Solana, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Polygon. So you know what chain each one is on. But this is how it works as a new user. Let's say you have a Binance account. So we'll just say that's BNB and you go and buy some ETH. You buy like one whole ETH and you withdraw this to your Metamask. So this is in your wallet now and you've got just less than one ETH, but we'll just say one ETH just for that as an example. And now you decide, do you want to get into some DeFi and you want to go play on Polygon? You hear there's a cool DApp over there, you can use Aave and you can use Pool Together and actually maybe try and get some lottery winnings. So you go and you have to use a bridge. So this is my fancy bridge here, and this will take us over to the land of Polygon. This bridge is probably going to cost us maybe $30 on a good day, but potentially more, and maybe it takes an hour. We come across, and all of a sudden, we now need a new token to even transact on the blockchain. We need Matic. Now, I haven't bridged across in a little while, so maybe there is an option to actually auto-swap some Ethereum for Matic. But then again, maybe there isn't, or maybe they don't give you enough if there's quite a high gas fee. So let's say they don't get any Matic, or let's say we don't realize we have to select that option. So now we have our 1 ETH, which is slightly less, but we'll once again just say 1 ETH. It's on the Polygon chain, and we have to go back to Binance. We have to go and buy some Matic from Binance, buy it here, and send it to our MetaMask wallet. And then we're playing on this blockchain, and maybe we go and we grab some USDC. So we take out a loan, and all of a sudden we now have $500 of USDC. And then we hear there's something really cool happening on Arbitrum. So once again, we just can't go and connect to Arbitrum. We have to bridge it across. So we use a bridge. This particular bridge has an issue. So we use another bridge. And then this USDC, for some reason, will not bridge across. So we send it across. I guess it did work to go across, but then we can't actually use it on the blockchain. So we have to work it out, and then we have to send it back. We also have to send across some ETH for gas. So we do that as well. We take a little bit of our ETH and we send it back. We do a swap of 500 USDC for a different token, maybe USDT or whatever's actually going to work on Arbitrum, and then we send it back. And these are just examples because it's not as simple as just plugging in to a new blockchain. We do some DeFi and we're having fun. And then all of a sudden, maybe we have a new account and it's with Coinbase. We make some gains and we want to send some of our ETH to Coinbase so we can actually cash it out for US dollars, and from there, go and buy your mum something nice. So we send this ETH to Coinbase. But let's say that Coinbase or another preferred exchange don't actually support Ethereum on the Arbitrum network. So you can't do it. But let's say, as an example, you send it there anyway. It doesn't show up on your account. An engineer will not spend time to get it for you, and you have to wait maybe a few months, maybe a year until they officially actually support that blockchain. They do have your tokens, but they just can't access it very easily. Let's say that Coinbase does actually support Arbitrum. It may or may not, I actually don't recall. You've heard some cool things about Base, and you think, I might go and move some ETH onto the Base blockchain. After all, this is Coinbase's created blockchain. So you go and you set up a Base wallet, which is once again just a MetaMask, and then you try to withdraw, but you notice that Base isn't supported as a withdrawal network on Coinbase. So you have to take the ETH and you send it back to Ethereum. And then from there, you have to use, once again, a bridge to get it onto the Base network. Thus far, we've played with only a couple of blockchains. And I can do this because I've spent thousands and thousands of hours understanding crypto. But how on earth is this supposed to actually onboard a few 100 million people in the next, say, 2 years? We just have to be real. It can't. It's too difficult. It's too difficult to explain to someone an actual seed phrase. Some of my videos are so simple, and it takes people a couple of times to actually understand it. And I appreciate it. I understand it. It's actually complex stuff. So am I a Solana maxi? No. Ethereum has a lot of value, and some of these layer 2s have a lot of value as well. But a system where you have to go between a bridge, and where you can do DeFi really well on one blockchain, and where you can do DeFi really well on one blockchain, and then you have to move your funds to another blockchain in the same ecosystem to go and buy a good NFT, and then move your funds again via a bridge to another blockchain to go and do something else. That makes crazily fragmented liquidity. So if you're a smaller person with, say, 1 ETH, and you put into Aave and you go borrow USDC, you go into different blockchains with all this USDC, and it's far more difficult and far easier to be liquidated on your position on Aave, maybe using Aave on 4 different blockchains, because you're getting into different things, different DeFi things, different NFTs. It's far easier to be messed up than if you're just playing on one particular blockchain. However, there is some hope. Monad. Now this blockchain is an EVM, a layer 1, 10K transactions per second, currently being tested on the DevNet. And this is something as a GM of Validator.com, and we currently only have staking services on Solana. We're very interested in this. It makes a huge amount of sense. You can do a whole lot of things on one blockchain without the need to go and fragment your liquidity and your attention and go via different bridges to get onto 5 different blockchains, all within the same ecosystem. This is coming soon, and that's still very much in a test stage. But of course, being part of crypto means that I want the entirety of crypto that's decent to win. I just see so much more value on Solana at present. And that's why I show these sort of things in my videos. So we'll see how it all plays out. And if you want to go and play on one of those blockchains, you can go and bridge your funds from Solana to Ethereum or other blockchains as well. By all means, go and experience it. But it's completely valid every time I compare Solana to, say, Ethereum. I've pointed out that we cannot actually compare it to Polygon plus Ethereum plus Arbitrum plus BNB Chain plus Tron, because these are very different ecosystems. They share a code base, but the friction point between the blockchains is insane. At the end of the day, number go up, that's what 99.9% of us want. So if you like the sound of ultrasound money, then go jump into Ethereum. The Ethereum supply is decreasing, but if you play on this chain a decent amount, you'll probably spend a couple $1,000s in gas fees in 1 week. So there's definitely trade-offs. And at the end of the day, wherever we can make the most money, that's ultimately what we want first. And of course, what we want is our actual token value to appreciate. That's basically what most of us are here for. I think Solana has the most amount of value. The friction is minimal compared to other blockchains. And if you check out the Solana ecosystem, you can see there are so many different DApps, so many different things that you can do over here. It's not a perfect blockchain. There's no such thing as a perfect blockchain, but there's category upon category of different things. Games, DeFi, tooling, DAOs, payments, wallets, etc. So go try out Solana. And of course, if you're going to go into the EVMs, just be aware there's plenty of points of friction, and I can't help you with it. So just take it step by step, and hopefully in the future, Menard helps us out quite a bit. Remember to stake your soul with Validator.com. If you're not staking your soul, you're losing out to inflation, and that's a smooth brain thing to do. Stay curious, and we'll catch you in the next video.